It's going to be great.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Hey, guys. I'm Al Washington, and welcome to my Mystical Loves podcast. But before we get started, just want to let you guys know that my podcast season has not officially started yet. But I wanted to bring on a special guest. His name is Samuel Huan. He is an award-winning filmmaker. He has started the Dream Sketch Films, and he is working on a new film as well as promoting it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pass the mic over to Samuel. He's going to introduce himself and all that good jazz. So, Samuel, welcome.
You're
Definitely
welcome.
thank you for coming on board. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you,
let's
Al.
first off start off, of course. Let's start off. How long have you been a filmmaker?
Since the dawn of time. No, really about 20 years now. I started, kind of got into it about a year before my oldest son was born. And it's just been this long journey over 2 decades. So it's been kind of wild.
Wow, interesting. Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. So speaking of which, your recent film Wicked Season is on Tubi right now. So Fandango at home and Apple TV, and also available on Prime Video. I do
Mhm.
love the poster and concept so far. So definitely tell us a little bit more about that. Like, how was it doing that film? That's also now on Tubi and everything.
It's doing great. That's kind of like a learning, a learned lesson on it of like how to approach marketing film, and kind of like there's the right ways and the wrong ways. And I feel like with every project, you learn from that and you bring that into the next project to make it better. So,
Yeah.
you know, um, I wouldn't say it's the easiest process.
No, it's
Sometimes
not.
like you just wish for like, when you get done with the film, it's like your baby. You've been you work on it for like, that one was almost 2 years. So you just like you really just kind of hope that it explodes and big bags of money fall on you, and it's kind of like a slow burn. I mean, we call it like a marathon. We didn't have a super huge marketing budget to push it, to have billboards everywhere and like pay for like a bunch of paid reviews and all that. So it's one of those things where it's growing, it's getting in front of more people, and people are enjoying it. And it helped too that we won awards for it. The accolades of
Congratulations.
that kind of help promote it and push. And it's kind of crazy because sometimes the random, like the most random people will be like, "Hey, I watched your film," and you know, most of them say they like it. I've never had anybody come up and just hate on me for it, but not everybody's gonna like and love or like and love every film. I mean, I don't like and love every film that I watch, so.
Same here. Yeah.
It's just what it is. It was just a fun film. I mean, it was a, I call it like my official film school in a way, or my unofficial film school maybe, because I never went. And in 20 years, I spent that time directing shorts, working on feature films as like a second unit director, a cinematographer, an editor, a little bit of producing, writing stuff. And, I had turned some projects down in the past to kind of get to this point because I wanted the first one to be the right one.
Yeah.
And then this one happened, and yeah, it's just magic, man. I'm really proud of it. It's unique.
I'm happy for you. And you said that you didn't go to film school, and that's the best way to learn is actually learning on set. So yeah, a lot of people seem to forget that. Yeah, absolutely for that. And
Thank
speaking of
you.
which, yeah, that is like I said, so true. Speaking of which, on your sets, we're gonna mixing in with the good and the bad. So what is the biggest challenge that you have faced so far being on your set, just a set in general, your set, someone else's set, like the biggest challenge?
I mean, okay, so the biggest challenge really was the first feature. I mean, that was hands down because the stress of knowing that there's a budget, which the budget wasn't even that big. I mean,
Right.
for a little low independent horror film, horror noir is what I call it. It's just like a dark fantasy adventure.
Yeah.
We had a little under 200,000, which it's not a lot of money in the film world, but when it's your first film, and I mean, not my first, I mean, I've been on multiple features in different departments and all that, but it was my first time as the helm, as like I was the director, I was the guy that it all falls upon. If this movie sucks, I'm the guy that they're pointing the fingers at. And I remember like a week before we started, I'm just laying on this couch and I'm like, oh my God, this is somebody else's money. Like, what if I don't do this right? What if I fail? What if I? And I had just stopped, and there was this inner voice that kicked in, and it's just like, dude, if you're not ready for this now, when are you going to be? And so it's kind of like stepping into it, like just you have to take the leap of faith. And so directing my first feature was probably the hardest thing I've done, just because from start to finish, getting all the way through post, because I mean, I wasn't the main editor on it, but I did a lot of the post-production supervising too. And so I sat with this film all the way to completion. Like a lot other times, you might have enough money that you have like another editor on board and like they're working that. And Matthew Stallings, my editor for Wicked Season, it was just, he did a fantastic job. I just stayed on because I was doing the supervising and keeping
Mhm.
all the puppets together. And yeah, it was just wild.
Did you have a difficult scene or shot, like I said, and do like a challenge? Can you think of?
Oh God, yes. I even have a great
Right.
there's a scene in the film where Frank Lasseter, who's played by Mark David Anthony, one of my good friends, he's actually a creative producer with me at Dream Sketch. He had never acted before in his life. Um,
Oh.
and we were having trouble casting this one role.
Hmm.
A good buddy of mine, Van Quattro, he was in like Fight Club and all that. He
Nice.
couldn't commit to the weekends because we shot for weekends only for 3 months,
Okay.
which is tough. And it's in the winter, so it's in a bunch of like really old, cold, creepy, abandoned hospitals and old whatever. So we brought Mark in. And the benefit of the weekends, though, is that I was able to work with him during the week and give him a lot of direction and kind of like we kind of shaped his character to
Right.
get that next weekend to give him something to kind of build off of. But there was this scene. It's near the end of the film. And I mean, I can talk about it now because it's been out since November, but it's the big reveal that he is not one of the good guys. And Detective Vega, she's walking up on him. She's like trying to confront him. And the original script, it had almost like a damn monologue of like, and when I get done with you, I'm gonna put your body in the hole with all the rest of us. And he's like, he's supposed to be continuously walking towards her. Well, the guy who's like who stood in for the DP that weekend, it's just like we couldn't time it because he was saying so much that it was just like, okay, we'll take baby steps. And I got to the end of it because it just nothing we did would work. I'm like, look, if he keeps walking, he's going to be in Oklahoma by the time we get this thing done.
Hmm.
So it was just, and now we're looking at like probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
It
wow.
was a long day. Like we broke
Yeah.
grades by hours. I mean, it was a night shoot for one, but it was pretty brutal. And we ended up slicing off most of the dialogue. I'm like, you know what? I don't even need this. Let's hit that. And it was hard emotionally getting through that night just because it's getting tiresome. It was a part of the script that we really needed to work through.
Yeah.
And he's new at this. Like Mark didn't have the experience but I'm trying to like push him through that. And I think in the end we got a really good scene out of it and
Hmm.
we needed out of it. So some of that others, when you write, you put everything down and then I believe scripts are organic. Like the film's organic. Like the new script that I have now for Where the Monster Lives, like I feel like it's in a good place, but now it's in producers' hands and they'll have notes, so things will kind of adjust. And then when it gets into production, things are going to adjust. Just things are going to change, so things move around, and that was the case with that scene. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the dialogue. It was a great scene on paper. It's just when real time, when you're on the set and you're dealing with physical constraints and
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, well, how much of this do I really need? Like, what do I really need to drive the plot right now? And that way he's not walking like 50 feet.
I get that. Absolutely. But you did say that he had no acting experience, but you put your trust in him that you knew
Mhm.
he was absolutely right for the part, right? I
And
mean,
he put his trust in me to guide him there. And that's why I feel like Mark, I hope he sees this one day. I
hope
mean, it was
so.
a stellar performance. I mean, there's a lot of people that love his character,
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
and that want to see him continue to act. And I'm not going to let him quit. We're going to put something else in front of him. So it's going to be good.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. I definitely hope so. Okay.
I like working with people with energy and like love for the craft, and Mark is definitely one of those guys. So
That bring out the character versus as anybody, like you said, anybody can read off a script, but it
yeah.
has to be that person, a spark, something that
Mhm.
draws you to getting that right actor for the part. So yeah, I definitely hear
Exactly.
that. Okay.
Feeling it, and they can listen, because that's
Mhm.
that's the hard part too. It's like some people
Yeah.
just. Oh no, I've got it. I'm like, but you didn't hear anything I just told you. I'm like, that's
Right.
crazy.
And
Let's do it again.
that's the number one thing with actors. They need to learn how to take direction. Obviously, you're the director, and that's the number one rule. I do believe as being an actor is learning how to take direction. So, but speaking of that, definitely some good stuff. And speaking of which, the latest and greatest, and I think you do are working on a psychological horror, which is When Opportunity Knocks. And I do believe you said it was kind of. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that with Monster and with Opportunity
Where
Knocks?
the monster lives, yeah.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and
Right.
this is all new developments too. Like I didn't have a chance to really to kind of to bring this up to you too, just because we've been kind of like running and gunning with it. It was such
Right.
a sudden change. Um, we just decided, because with the short film When Opportunity Knocks, we've got Lynn Lowry attached to it, Jennifer Stone, this guy named, not this guy, oh my God. James Stokes, a phenomenal actor. He was one of the Jason Voorhees in one of the films.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's cool as shit.
Okay.
Good dude, and he's a Marine. Talked to him, loved to. I want to work with him, man. But
Okay.
we're just kind of looking at it and like with this star power and these like really good people behind it, like why let it sit within a short when we have this anthology over here? So I'm like, I want to get Lynn Lowry in my feature.
Hmm.
And then we just decided we were going to fold that short into the feature itself and just make some few changes, kind of beef up their roles in the real world of it. In the kind of hard to say. It's a horror anthology epic. So there are four short films in it,
Okay.
but it's not your typical anthology. Like your typical anthology, it's kind of like here's this character that's floating through it sometimes. And then these short films are just a lot of them are kind of random. I think there was one called Ghost Stories where it's very similar to what we do, where it's tied to a framework.
Okay.
But the groovy part about ours is, and this is the challenge of making this thing too, is the fact that each one of the shorts is tied to this, like the emotional intelligence of the protagonist, Tommy, this selective mute 17-year-old. Um, it's hard to like,
No, it's I can be
well, no, I don't want to like ruin it for you.
right.
Um, he learns because it starts from like like a bigger view out, like a 5,000 foot view of who he hates. And it's just one bully because it's a lot about bullying and like messing around and finding out. And then it's this voice in his head, this darkness that's talking to him. And it's like we can't trust anybody. So then it goes into a little bit closer to home. And then the third film is more of a look at himself and who he is inside of him. And then the fourth one is this reveal of what happened when he was 6 years old and
Mm.
an action that occurred that traumatized him for the rest of his life. And it's really neat because in this film, we deal a lot with trauma. The short film actually touches on domestic abuse, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of just really dark, tough themes that a lot of people, it's hard to approach it. And so I wanted to approach it in the proper way where we're not abusing it, we're not glorifying it, and we don't. We look at both sides. There's a man being abused emotionally and a woman being abused physically, and how all these stories just kind of tie together. But in where the monster lives, it's generational violence and generational trauma and how it affects this boy. And it's very much like a modern day Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So it's wild. I mean, I want to tell you all about it right now.
No, I really
I want
understand.
to spoil it because it's a beautiful script. It's probably one of the most intense, intricate, complex, yet simple and just emotionally driven character piece that I've ever seen on paper. And I'm not just saying that because my team wrote it.
Right.
Uh, there's a lot of personal aspects, even from my own life, that are played into that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We actually had this conversation earlier with a producer where I like to think on a very deep level with anything that I work with, but this story, scene by scene, dialogue to dialogue, every bit of it has weight, and I understand the weight and the intention behind every moment behind it. So it's really wild. Like I'm excited for it to be my second feature. I think it's going to create some waves. So
Absolutely. I definitely want to help you spread the word out there. But based on your press release, I do like the concept so far, especially with domestic abuse for the when opportunity knocks with the elderly couple, but I don't want to say anymore. So for that, but thank you for sharing a little bit of it. I know it's a still a work in progress.
I can't wait for the world to see it. And then we could all talk about it. But it's just, and here's the other thing about this theme,
Yeah.
because domestic abuse is tough, but the the contrast between Wicked Season and this film, Wicked Season to me was a very safe film. Like
Oh,
there's
okay.
some messed up themes in it, or messed up, there's some not scary, scary, but it deals with murder. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but this film, I didn't want it to be a safe film. I wanted to approach things that people are uncomfortable with, including myself. Like when a kid dies in a film, I have to turn it off.
Really?
Um, I can't watch those films. Like Stephen King's The Mist, the one from I forgot what year.
I did too. Yeah.
Thomas Jane's in it, but that ending where he's shooting everybody in the car, then it's about to be him, and then the fog or the mist goes away, and there's like the military rolling in. Can't watch it. But in this film, something happens to younger people, and it's crazy because I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm writing it in and doing it because I'm not comfortable with it. And I want to have to face that within my own work. And what can I do with that in my own film, and what will that look like? So
So goodness, I did.
wild.
That's okay. I definitely can't wait to hear more, definitely more about that, and definitely how you're going to see to bring that out. But yeah, I have not seen The Mist. I know a couple of people from The Walking Dead was in it, so I heard it was very good. I heard the book was very good, but I didn't know that
I
some
think
people said
Carol's in it from The Walking Dead.
who played Andrea. Probably I could be wrong. I probably have to look it up.
Oh no, it was Andrea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
The one
wasn't
who
Carol.
played okay, the one who played Andrea in The Walking Dead. Okay, yeah, I saw some trailer parts. I think who Carol uh who plays Carol in The Walking Dead. Not a big fan of her character, but still, I know that she was in no offense. I not to get off topic. It's just she just got on my nerves in The Walking Dead.
Oh, we could talk Walking Dead all night.
Yeah, I
I
know,
mean,
right? I'm sorry, no,
uh,
she just her character got on my damn nerves, whatever. But I saw a few clips of The Mist, and like I said, I haven't seen it
it's
yet.
good. It's
It is good.
fun.
Okay, yeah,
I can't watch it again because the ending. And it's like the movie The Cabin. Like, I don't know if you've seen that, but the ending is just, oh, damn, those kids.
I have not seen that, Samuel. No, but
Uh,
you know what ending that
it's
bothers me?
intense. Which one?
Night of the Living Dead, the 60s version, George Romeo, the 1968 version. No. I cannot
Romero?
watch that movie. You said what? What I keep,
Romero.
yes,
Romero.
Romero. Excuse me. I'm messing up people's names. Oh
You're
my
okay. No, 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 no.
God.
I mess it up all the time. I don't know people's names. I gave up on that shit a long time ago.
Right, excuse me. I'm just gonna say George, but no, I don't know if you saw the 60s version. I don't know if it was because it was in black and white, it was a tone. I still could not watch that movie at night, and the ending did bother me. I know it's not, I don't know if you've seen the movie yet already. So I
Mhm.
don't you've
Oh
seen it.
yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, that movie to this day, I still cannot watch it. The light has to be on, or has to be daylight. It has to be the music or something. Because I remember one scene when they were all, some of them, the remaining people were watching the television, waiting for
Mhm.
uh I guess if they were watching the news reporting and said, what's going on, this disease, zombies, et cetera, et cetera. It was dark. But as soon as the lights went out and as soon as the TV went off, I was like, no, I'm done. No, because I know it's cheesy, but something about that movie, it was the music or something. At the ending, there's still a controversy with the racial
Well,
yeah,
and there's a reason for that too, because Romero very much was like a social activist.
right.
So he didn't do that to like, hey, let's kill the black dude in the movie. He was
Right.
making a social message of like, hey, that guy ran out, so they just popped without thinking about it.
Exactly. I
So he
just
was trying to actually, make a point of like, being at the time that it was. I think it came out in the 60s.
exactly. Yeah.
So it was
And
very
that's
much heavy in that civil rights movement part. So he was always very much into like uh having a social stance within his films.
But it also brings a good point because the fact is that even back in the 60s, when they usually want a white lead, they're like, well, he's black, we don't want him. But he was simply the right person for the part, to be honest with you. He did a
Uh,
very good job. Just like you said, one actor in your movie, he doesn't have a lot of acting experience, but something about him, his spark, his passion,
mhm.
that really brings out the character, the same thing. So, yeah, I just, at the end of the movie with that freeze frame shot, I was like, no, just, yeah, I have to
Well,
watch
see,
the
that's what I always respected about Romero too, and I'm the same way. Like I don't care about the color. when it comes to
Right.
like casting somebody.
Exactly. Yeah.
I could give two shits. Like
Right.
what I care about is there that spark, that passion? Is there a talent, ability? Do they love it? Can they bring the weight to it? Can they carry it?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, man. No, I just but do I want to see more diversity? Absolutely. That's why again I love that movie. I like The Walking Dead. Love the diversity for that. And again, with while I'm casting it just in general, writing in general, I'm a creator who is black. I'm not a black creator. So personally, yeah, race at this time does not I don't really care about that. You have to be that character. If I'm writing an all black cast, and that's different if I'm writing whatever, but
that's intentional though. Like if
yeah,
you're writing it like that, then that's an intentional. Like then it makes sense to cast it like that.
yeah,
It'd be the same for me or anything. Or if I'm writing a character that's intentionally black, well, okay, well, it needs to be this
exactly.
because it carries a point towards driving the plot forward.
Yes,
But
exactly.
just to make it all white or all black to this because whatever, I've never been a big fan. I mean, I've always like I want to see the merit behind the person. And
Yeah.
that's why I make good relationships with people because it's connection. So
Exactly. Yeah. So that's it. That is a verdict. And speaking of
that's
that,
great. I like we brought that up. That was good.
exactly. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it too. Yeah, I know some people are still sensitive to talk about that. No, but I get, like I said, but me, I'm not going to fit into the stereotype since I am a black creator. But again, like I said, if I'm writing for a specific uh race, and that's different. But if not, you just need to bring it. If you fit the
All
mold of the character, I don't care what color you are. So that's just it. If you fit the character when I'm writing for, I want to see it. That's it. So some people, majority of the people feel that way, others don't. But that is, I mean, it is what it is. But we don't feel that way. I'm just good that
right.
we are talking about it though, because it's still a issue. But in general, like I said, I love seeing the different diversities in
Well,
film.
no, and I even got a story about that. There was a
Mhm.
short film I did back in 2020, actually. It was called Requital. It was my first short film after like I did like had like a 3 year hiatus from film. I just kind of burned out from all the BS
Right.
of
Yeah.
making film sometimes, like the people saying they have money or this or that. But we had this short, and it was about a jealous salesman who's being outperformed by this other salesman. And originally it was just I had my buddy Paul Cokercast, white dude, and there was another guy, and it seemed like a good fit. Like everybody could be there. We didn't have any money, so it's like, hey, show up. Well, the guy playing the one that and so one salesman kills or looks like he's going to kill the other salesman, or he does it. And
Right.
it's a psychological thing, and it never happened. Like he never actually harmed. He hit the guy in the head, but he never murdered him. And you can see it in the film. Like there's cues of the fact that he's just kind of cuckoo, right? Well, the one dude that was going to get killed backed out on me 2 nights before, I think. And I'm just like, oh shit, we're shooting this weekend. So I had to put an emergency casting up. And, I'm just now getting back into film with this short. And this one dude, LJ Johnson, hits me up. And, he's a black dude.
Hmm.
It's really cool. And like, I kind of followed him on that. We've had good conversations, but it was right in the middle of everything that happened in 2020.
The
And
COVID.
I was just like, man, like, I want to work with you and I will. Are you worried though about, the fact that here's this white dude that's going to be, it's going to look like he killed you or he assaulted you?
Right.
And it was just like, I had to be real, man. I had to ask that question, like, are you okay with this? Or do you think this is a good idea? And he's like, well, wouldn't it be more messed up not to give me this chance to work on this film with you just because of that and that on that? And I'm like, you know what? Fair enough, to hell with everybody. And he did great. I mean, it just made sense because in my mind, it's two salesmen. It's not a black dude and a white dude. And what happens, it's just like, here's this tension because the one dude's being outperformed and the other guy's losing his mind. And we tried to do some festivals with that. It was just the
Hey.
wrong time for it. I want to put it back out there. It was a really good short. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. It was really good. And the dude gets arrested at the end of the film. He gets caught, and it shows that he never murdered him. Like it was all just this thing in his head that happened, this like jacked up psychological fantasy because he's cuckoo.
But I mean, Samuel, what about you said want to bring out the short film? What about I know people overlook YouTube. I mean, what about that? Like your own person. I mean, I'm sure.
It's out there.
Okay, so you have it out there, but you want
Yeah.
to do like the film festival type of.
Oh, I mean, it's so old now. I mean, being the
Oh,
fact
okay.
that it was 2020, probably nobody would take it. And it
Oh,
played like It was on one like online festival during COVID,
Oh,
and
okay.
people loved it.
Nice.
Like,
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, finally somebody's watching it.
Nice.
Uh, it's a good short. I was watching it again the other night, and it seems like it's this forgotten short film that I did just because of when it landed out, and it was like, it sucks because of everything that was happening at that point. It felt like, maybe it wasn't, people just didn't want to touch it. And it kind of sucks because they were viewing it from a different lens than I was.
And
I
that was
just
good that
I had
you
two
look
good
at.
actors.
No, and that was good that you look back at it and you're like, wow, this is something that I've done. I got it done. And then maybe you looked at to see, just to look at, wow, look at your accomplishment. Okay, I did this was a few years ago and I can see what I can do on your next one or something like that. You
Yeah.
reminisce and
Well, and I kept going, and which
yeah.
led me back into getting back on the feature film sets, and then getting Wicked Season, and then moving on to Where the Monster Lives. I have no regrets with it. I mean, I wish more people would watch Requital. It's on my YouTube or Vimeo. I think it's on my YouTube. Fun. I mean, if you look at it from another way and it's like, oh, again, and like, yeah, then you're going to view it like that. But take those barriers off, take that prejudice out of your mind of what you're seeing, and just watch it as a film.
Hmm.
Like, you view it as two dudes that are salespeople, and shit happens.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's
World's messed
right.
up, man. I'm just like, let's just tell stories. That's all. Everybody lives the same way. Like, we all have our ups and downs. We all have our good times and bad times.
I know that's right. Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I want more of the good times.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, same here, please. Yeah. And speaking of that, yeah. Anyway, yeah, what can we do, right? But what
Sorry I
would
sidetracked on that one though.
you said what?
I'm sorry I sidetracked us a little bit on
No,
that.
you're fine. Oh, please. No, you're fine. Definitely.
But I
This,
always wanted to talk about Requital. I never got a chance to really say that about the short.
yeah.
I just felt like it got kind of like derailed just because of that. So thank you for giving me the
Okay.
platform to finally say something about that good short film.
That's right. You're welcome, Samuel. Yeah, for singing from the rooftops. You're welcome. And
Thank
speaking of which, what would you tell people if they wanted to officially break in the film scene? Is there any advice you have for anybody? Or just some simple feedback, those
you.
who want to break in or they're afraid to because they don't have the money or they didn't go to film school.
And then, like I said, I never did.
Yeah.
Don't quit. I mean, you just got to do it. I mean, your stuff in the beginning is not going to be good. Chances are highly unlikely it's even going to be watchable. I mean, a lot of my original stuff was just, I think the kids call it trash now, I think is what the word is. Like, hey, it's trash. Hot garbage, maybe.
Yeah, probably,
Um,
whatever new slang lingo's out.
yeah, I don't even know. I try to keep up with my kids, and they're all
Right.
like, no, Dad, that was so like 2 years ago. Uh,
Yeah. I know I
but,
can't
it,
think of something in my head either.
but it's staying with it, right? Like, you can't stop. There was this one night, I remember I was at a big networking thing for the Dallas Producers Association. It was this big mixer, and there's all these like new people and a bunch of young hands. And it's like this one young couple came up and they were talking about getting in. They were like, hey, what's your advice? And I'm like, look around. You see all these people? Most of them want to direct, most of them want to do this. But chances are, of everybody in this room, these hundreds of people, the bulk of them are going to quit within 5 years because it's going to get tough. It's going to get hard. You're not finding the money. You're not finding the validation. Nobody's patting you in the back. You have to do some hard work. You got to build up your brand. Um, but if you stick with it and you don't quit and you work hard, I mean, it's not just time and consistency that does it. You've got to love your craft. You've got to study your craft. And you've got to experiment. The more you do it, the better you get. And then the more people notice it. The lesson that I've learned recently is being more proactive on social media. Um, I'm not a big fan. I really don't like social media.
It takes a lot of work, man. Just I know I've
Nowadays, if you
marketing. Yeah,
don't do it, they don't know you exist, and
it's true.
it's a scary little necessary evil. I don't want to call it
It
anything.
takes a
Maybe.
lot of work, man. It definitely for marketing your own stuff. It really does. So yeah, I give it up to those who can do it all day, 24/7. But yeah, you're absolutely
Ugh.
right. So
I plan my day. I'm making sure I get that one post out, but it's
yeah,
also being very like strategic. Like, okay, what am I putting out and how am I doing it? But
yeah,
it's don't quit. Have a good attitude.
yeah,
Don't let yourself build up this hyper ego that you're the greatest thing on earth because there are a lot of people out there that are better than you.
yeah,
And you've got to grow into that. I'm still growing into that. Like,
yeah.
I feel like they're 2 decades really finding my voice as a creative because of the way I think now, just with my age. You know, if I got that first feature 10 years ago, I don't know what it would have been like compared to what it is now with my worldview that I have.
Yeah, you want
So
to out.
I don't regret being 45. I was 42 when we started Wicked season. So some people's eyes, it's a late start. To me, it's like I don't give a shit because it's my
Yeah,
art.
that's right.
And I'm going to film the way I want to, and I'll get as many of them done before I, put the nail in the coffin.
That's right.
So,
Until God takes your last breath, as long as you're blinking and breathing. So you are setting that for yourself. You want to do something, you just simply need to do it. Don't matter your age. You're blinking, you're here, you're breathing. So yeah, do it.
amen.
That's right. So yeah.
Because there's not a lot of time. It's really not. It's like you think about a normal film, a typical film can carry up to 2 years of your time. And you could do another film like, if you get through production, you wiggle an editor in, you can go into pre on the next one and build up a slate and you could work that angle, but it takes time out of your life. So, I'm at 40, I could have a good 30, maybe 40 years left. Who
Yeah.
knows? I mean, I don't know, science is amazing now. But even if it was 30 years, that's roughly maybe 15 films. So, what choices do you make? Which films do you approach? How do you want to spend your time in your life? Like, what do you want to give that to?
Yeah.
And that's why I've always been hyper picky.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make sure it's like, that's what I want to spend the next 2 years of my life worrying about and then promoting after the fact. So,
Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to listen to other people, have excuses. Oh, I can't do it because this and that, A, B, and C. Like I said, the choice is yours. So yeah, that's
hey, that's one last point to that. Um, if you're waiting for somebody to give you the big bag of money,
yeah,
you're messing up. I
absolutely.
kind of did that in the beginning. You have to get on it. You have to go for it. You got to just make a damn movie. Short films, if anything, just to get some attention to you, you will get that money to you. But you got to be proactive and create. They're all looking after for themselves. You got to like make your waves, I guess is what I'm saying.
You're damn
Don't,
right. Yeah, unless you got the casting couch contacts, that's the way you're gonna have to do it. So that's it. We have to end on that note. I'll tell you that. So, but no, lastly, I think we have just one more minute.
yeah.
Samuel. So is anything last minute thing you want to just say? Any thoughts, questions? We kind of covered advice for anybody who wants to break in.
I know I really weighed into that one, but that's some good words though. I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
It's a tough battle. If you're
it
expecting
is.
to just be rich and famous, you're in the wrong business. Like it's really about what you're leaving behind. Like I view it like a legacy of like, what do I want to be remembered for? How maybe my grandchildren will know me one day or my great grandchildren. Like what can I leave behind that maybe they'll watch, that they'll see a piece of me in there. So that's what matters. I mean, art is art. Like feast or famine, a lot of famine.
Yeah,
But do you find closure with it? Does it complete you? So
yeah.
make your choose your battles.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right about that. And so, okay. But guys, thank you guys for joining me and Samuel for the Mystical Loft. If you want any more of his information, you're in the process of still promoting, like I said, when opportunity knocks and
Oh yeah,
everything.
man, where the monster lives.
Yes, excuse me, where the monster lives. So they
Hmm?
can definitely check out
Sketch
dreamsketchfilms.com.
films or the at thing at Samuel Huan. I'm on
Right.
Instagram and Facebook. Actually, kind of responsive too. Send a message, and I don't think you're spam, or I will contact you.
That's right. Yeah, no peeper creepers, none of that. None of that.
Mm-mm.
What?
But I will like. There's a lot of updates going to that, like daily, damn near. Even like this podcast will be throwing it out there, like, hey, you've got to see this girl. You have to get on her show. You've got to watch this show.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
That's
Appreciate
a thing.
that.
And by the way, thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time to like let me on here to talk. You're
Of
an
course.
amazing host, amazing show. So one day when you're big and famous, okay, and I'm just that little guy still, you're gonna have to
Oh,
get back on, okay?
Samuel, we'll
I
see.
promise you that.
I promise. I promise. I don't know about you. If you're making it big and famous, like, oh, Al, yeah, I'll see you on the set. Whatever. Yeah.
No, we're gonna have to have weeklies or something. We're gonna have to be talking. Yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely. That sounds like a plan to me. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you guys next time, and thank you again for joining us with me and Samuel. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.